Okay, author's notes. Queen of the Capes here. The story's for, I think it was Lynn, who said she wanted to hear more of the oral storytelling kind of stuff, and I thought that was a great idea, so I figured I'd take a crack at it. Making this up on the fly, and since I've been having writer's block lately, that's gonna be some mental acrobatics, and since I'm kind of tired, that's gonna be ending up in weird places, I bet, so we'll see what happens. Okay, story. It all started one day at the Daily Planet, when Jimmy Olsen came to work very, very late. Like, an hour late. Well, 2 hours. So this made Perry White very, very, very angry. So he stomps over and says, "Olsen, do you have any idea what time it is? Why the hell, Elvis Blazes, are you so late?" And Jimmy Olsen says, "Well, Chief, I can explain. I have a very good explanation." Perry says, "Well, I'd like to hear it." Jimmy says, "Well, sir, you see, Lois was kidnapped by a giant gorilla, and I had to help Superman rescue her." Well, Perry didn't buy that. Not one little bit. And what's more, Jimmy was covered in lipstick, so yeah, Perry took a few guesses about what the real story was. But he figured he'd humor the gopher. He says, "Well, a giant gorilla, huh?" "Yes, sir," said Jimmy. He says, "Well, Jimmy, where did this giant gorilla come from?" "Africa, sir," said Jimmy. "I figure Africa," said Perry. "How did he get here?" "Well," said Jimmy, "he was brought over by circus people, and he kind of got loose." "Uh-huh," says Perry. "And how did he capture Lois?" "Well," says Jimmy, "Lois was interviewing the ringmaster of the circus, and the gorilla kind of got out of his cage, picked her up, and climbed up a skyscraper." "Uh-huh," says Perry. "And why wasn't this anywhere I've heard of? I mean, why did I not hear about this? If it was in a skyscraper with a giant gorilla, wouldn't this have made the news?" "Well," said Jimmy, "it was in the middle of Amish country." "A skyscraper," said Perry, "in the middle of Amish country." "Yes, sir," said Jimmy. "That's why you didn't hear about it, sir. They don't have news choppers in the Amish country." "Uh-huh," says Perry. "Why was there a skyscraper in the Amish country?" "Well," says Jimmy, "there's this new company that's trying to expand, and they figured the Amish are uncharted, untouched territory, so they figured they'd try moving in there." "Uh-huh," says Perry. "So he got this company, it's built a skyscraper in the Amish country, and a gorilla escapes from the circus, kidnaps Lois, and climbs up it. Is that about right?" "Yes, sir," said Jimmy. "And the lipstick?" says Perry. "What lipstick?" said Jimmy. "That lipstick all over your face," says Perry. "Well," now Jimmy started to blush, and he says, "Well, sir, I can explain that, too. In order to get the gorilla down, I had to dress up like a girl and cover myself in lipstick and do the chicken dance." "What?" says Perry. So Jimmy says, "Well, it's how the gorilla was trained, sir. He was supposed to do some kind of an act involving a clown in drag that's covered in lipstick and doing the chicken dance. So in order to get the gorilla down and save Lois, I had to do that." Now, of course, Perry's really rolling his eyes here. He says, "Jimmy, just get back to work. And don't be late again or you're fired." So Jimmy says, "Yes, sir." And he goes back to work. About half an hour later, Lois comes in. And Perry says, "Lois, why are you late also?" And Lois says, "Well, sir, you're not going to believe it, sir. I was kidnapped by a giant gorilla." That's about all I can manage for today, folks. Hopefully I have something better for you someday soon. But in the meantime, Merry Christmas. The end.